Welcome to the Science of Productivity segment. Each segment, I try to bring some new research for you on the topics of productivity and performance to help you accomplish your goals faster. In this segment, what I want to do is talk about some new research that illuminates the incredible power of taking ownership. So let's start with research from emergency room data. Some researchers from Harvard Business School took emergency room data from between 2007 and 2010, and they looked at the difference in performance of two different queuing systems. And by that we mean, so there is a pooled queuing system in which all the patients go into one queue and then it's assigned out from there to the different doctors. And then there is a dedicated queuing system, which basically each doctor had its own queue of patients that it would work down. And so then they said, okay, which one was more efficient and which one was more effective? And what one would think is that the pooled queuing system, the one where all the patients are together and then are distributed most efficiently to the doctors, that would generate better results because the system inherently is more efficient in terms of distribution of resources. But what they found actually is that when they compared these two different queuing systems, the dedicated queuing system where each doctor had their own queue had better results on two dimensions. So the length of stay, how long the patients were in the emergency room, went down 17%, and the average wait time even went down 9%. So why did this happen? Why did the dedicated queuing systems, which should be slower, less efficient, result in more efficient systems and better results? Well, according to the researchers, and I want to quote them, what they say is that improved performance stems from physicians' increased ownership over patients and resources. The power of ownership. I define ownership as taking responsibility for the outcomes of your work. So not just the output, but the outcomes. You take responsibility for it. And when you take responsibility, it increases your motivation to do the work. You invest, you add discretionary effort. And so ownership is really powerful. What these researchers then did is they said, well, let's take some mathematical models and simulations and try to see if these findings will apply to other fields. And what they found is that largely these results apply in fields where they're knowledge intensive and there's a high sense or a high level of customer ownership. And so they found that it would likely apply in medicine, obviously that's where it first started, personal banking, and even places like the Apple Genius Bar. Now, these findings resonate with research from Wharton professor Adam Grant, who found that when you look at university fundraisers and when you expose them to a scholarship recipient, the people they're raising funds for even just 5 minutes, that their fundraising amounts, the amounts they were able to fundraise, increased 400%. So this idea of taking ownership, of being motivated to do your work and actually take responsibility for the outcome of your work is a really powerful effect. So if you're trying to do work or trying to increase the efficiency of a team, focus at least in part on increasing ownership. That's it for this Science of Productivity segment.